Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to integrate Jetpack Glance Android widget inside your Expo React Native application and send data from your app to your Android widget using GlanceStateDefinition. So I have already made a video on how to get started with Jetpack Glance Android widget in Expo React Native for Android, but this video we will be also using GlanceStateDefinition to send data. So let's get started. So first, as usual, if you want to create an Expo application, you can go to this URL, and in this I will be using this blank TypeScript template because it gives me very less boilerplate code and it also has TypeScript support. So I'll just copy this and I will just go to my workspace directory. I'll just run this particular command. Then it will ask me for my app name. I will just give it as my app, click enter, and it will create the project for us. Now I will just quickly open this project for you. Now this particular project does not have the native Android folder. We require the native Android folder because we need to write some native code. So for that you will have to go to this particular URL. So I'll just open that. So here you will have to select Android device, select development build. I have disabled ES because I will be building it locally. Select your operating system. I'm on macOS, so I have already installed Watchman. I have already installed Kaz Zulu. I have already installed Android Studio as well. So I'll just scroll down. I've already done all the steps. I've already done this, and then I will need to copy this and I will just cd to my app, clear everything out. I'll just paste this. Again, this will install some npm dependencies for us. Once that is done, we need to copy this particular command. So let's just wait for this to complete. Then I'll just paste this. Now previously it used to ask me for package name, but now it just automatically assigns a package name. If you want, in future if they decide to change it again, yeah, you can enter some package name. Now here it has given me an error. This is because I don't have the Android emulator installed. I will be running this on a real Android device and I have not connected my Android device yet because we haven't written any code, so no point in running it now. So if you go to my project again, here you can see it has created the Android folder. Then we need to create a module. So I'll just create a native module, we'll just copy this particular command. If you want more instructions or want to learn more about it, you can go to this URL. I won't waste your time any much. So I'll just clear everything out. I'll just run this. Again it will ask me for some questions. I'll keep everything as default. I'll just click enter, and here you can see it has created this model folder for us. Now what I will do is I will write all the code and then come back and show you guys all the code which I have written. Alright, so I have written all the code. Let's go through it. So firstly you will have to go to your modules, my module, and here inside src my module.ts, here you can see I have added a method called update widget. So once you have created a widget, we will be calling this method from our application and it will send some data to our widget and our widget will get updated. So here you can see it is expecting a string data, and here the return type is void. So just add this particular method. Once you have done that, you will have to go to app.tsx, and here you can see I have imported our module. Then I have created a button, and on click of it I'm just doing my module.update widget, and for data I'm just passing the date. You can pass whatever data you feel like, and here we just do create widget. Okay, then we'll have to go to the Android folder. Firstly, inside our Android folder we'll have to go to build.gradle file, and here inside the dependencies section you will have to add these dependencies. This is not present by default, so make sure you add these two dependencies. So these are for creating Android widget using Jetpack Compose. Now given that Jetpack Glance, and given that we are using Jetpack Glance, inside this particular Android block which is present, you also need to add this build feature compose true, compose options. Now this version depends on the Kotlin version which you are using. So at the time of me creating an Expo project, Expo internally uses Kotlin 1.9.24. This will definitely get upgraded in the future, so it's better you can go to the Android folder, go to build.gradle, and here you can see it is using Kotlin version as 1.9.24. also check this particular version. I think I'm not sure where exactly this is.
but maybe you can do a quick search on VS Code. Yeah, I think it is not able to, I'm not able to find it, but I think by default it uses 1.9.24. So this 1.9.24 of Kotlin version matches with this 1.5.14. I have tried upgrading this to 1.9.25 and this to 1.5.15, but it was giving me an error. That's why I just kept it as default, whatever was the Kotlin version while I created the Expo project. And this 1.9.24 requires 1.5.14 of Kotlin compiler extension version. So you can check the documentation as well, Android documentation. And here we also need to add this packaging options resource excludes, just for, yeah, this is boilerplate code which we have to add. So make sure you add all these 3 blocks as well as the dependencies. Once that is done, go to the src folder. Inside main, you will have to first go to the android manifest.xml, and here you will only see this manifest tag, nothing else. You will have to add this xmls:android. Then you have to add this application tag as well. Then you have to add this receiver android:name. Now we will have to create this Kotlin file. I'll show you that in a bit. Then we also defined intent filter of action app widget update. Then here I have to define our metadata as well of name android app widget.provider. And here we'll have to create this particular file inside our XML folder. Now we'll have to create 3 separate files for my app widget info. This is necessary because some of the properties of my app widget info are only accessible from version 28 and some of them are only accessible from version 31. The min SDK which we are using inside our Android project is version 24. That's why we have to create 3 separate files. Now these 3 separate files will require 3 separate XML folders as well. So for that we'll first have to create this res folder inside this main folder. Once you create this res folder, here you can see I have created this XML folder. Inside that I have created this my app widget info.xml. Now this is again boilerplate code which you have to write inside your XML folder, so XML file, sorry. So you can just copy paste all this code. So here I am setting the resize mode as horizontal and vertical. After how much time we want our widget to get updated. In our case this is pretty much useless because we are updating our widget from our app. Then I have set the min height as well as min width, then the min resize height as well as the min resize width as well. And initial layout I have set it to glance default loading layout. Now this comes from the Jetpack glance dependency which we have added. So when I try to create a widget for a second or two, it shows a loading indicator that comes from this glance default loading layout property or layout file you say. Okay, so this we have done for the XML folder. Same you will have to create xml-v28 and create this XML file again. I have just copy pasted it from the previous XML file. Only thing extra which we have added is this widget features. Again, like this is only available from version or SDK 28. So yeah, you can add this particular thing. What this does even I don't know, but I have followed the documentation, that's why I have added it. Then we have also created xml-v31. Again I have added this my app widget info.xml. Again I have just copy pasted it from the previous one. There are few things which we have added: this max resize height, max resize width, target cell width as well as target cell height. Rest everything remains the same. Then given that we have created all these things, also create a mipwap folder, and inside that you can use whatever image you want. I am using this default IC launcher image because we will be using this image inside our Jetpack glance code. This is not necessary, but I just wanted to show it to you. And I have also created layout folder, and here we have created this custom error layout. Again we will be referencing this file from our code which I will show you later on. But in case if there is any error on our Jetpack glance code is not able to render, we are providing this fallback, so it will display a text view saying something went wrong. Also do remember this ID as well. Programmatically later on I will also show you how you can update the text of this text view with the help of this particular ID. Okay, so once you have created all these files, just go to Java, and firstly you will have to create this my app widget receiver which we were referencing inside our XML Android manifest.xml file. So make sure you are using your own package name. In case you don't know your package name, you can just go to mymodule.kt and whatever package name is over here, you can use the same thing over here as well. And these are the 2 imports which you can use. Then we create this my app widget receiver which extends from glance app widget receiver, and here we override this particular property called glance app widget, and here we just provide this particular kotlin file called myWidget. So I have created another kotlin file called myWidget.kt. Now this will actually contain all the code which is required for Jetpack Glance. Again, you should copy your own package name. These are all the imports which I have. Again, I don't want to go too much into it, so you can just copy paste all these imports. So yeah, I'll simply scroll down. Feel free to pause the video wherever you feel like and copy the imports. Then here I have created my widget, which extends from GlanceApp widget. Here we are setting the size mode as size mode exact. Then there is the state definition as well, which extends from preference, which we get from preference glance state definition. Then here we override this provide glance. Here we use this boilerplate provide content, and this particular key, we are looking for this particular key. I will tell you where exactly we are setting this data. Here we are just getting the data. In case if there is no data, I'm just saying no data found. So this is kind of like a Elvis operator. In case if this is null, this particular part is null. So yeah, I'll show you where exactly we are setting this. Then I have taken a scaffold, a title bar, and a title bar. This has an image provider. So here you can see we are referencing this map folder, and the name is IC_launcher. So if you decide to name it different, you will have to change it over here as well. Then here I have set the title as hello. I have set some background color as well. Then I am using our column, okay, and here inside that I have this text, and I'm just saying counter value is, and whatever is value present inside over here, we are sending date, right? So you will see how we will set that date as well, and I'm just displaying it over here. Then I'm defining some styles as well, and here we are overriding this on composition error. So in case if something goes wrong over here, we are not able to render our widget. Then we go to on composition error, and here is our remote views, and here we just do remote views dot set text view text, and from this particular layout file we are getting the text view by getting its ID, and here I'm just updating the text. If you don't want to update it, you don't have to add this particular code. Then here we just do app widget manager dot get instance dot update app widget ID slash remote views. Okay, also yeah, so this is okay. Then you will have to go to my module.kt file. Again, I have added few imports. I think these 3 imports I have added, as well as these all imports I have added. So make sure you copy these imports. Then so our React Native code will call this particular file, and here I am getting hold of our context as well as activity. So make sure you add this particular bit of code as well. Then I'll just scroll down. This is boilerplate code which is present by default. Then here I have creating our update widget method, what we have defined it inside our TypeScript file. Here we are getting the data, the date which we are sending it from React Native. Then I'm just doing coroutine scope dispatchers.io. Then we get hold of all the widgets which we have created. So the user should have created if the widget is not, so the widget should have been created, sorry, the user should have created the widget. If the widget is not created, this button is pretty much useless, it won't do anything. So the widget should be created before you call this update widget method. So once the widget is created, we will start looking for that particular widget, and once we find the widget, here you can see we are using the same key. Now you can use it whatever you feel like, but make sure you update it inside my widget.kt file as well. And we are just setting the date what we send it from React Native and update our widget. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully I did not forget anything. Now if I show you guys the output, here is my app. Okay, I'll just dismiss this. Now what I'll do, I have not created the widget yet, so I'll just go back. I'm mirroring my device, so the output is little laggy, just bear with me over here. Now okay, so here I will just long press on my app to create the widget. I will click on the widget section, and here you can see this is our widget. I'll click on it, I'll click on add, and here you can see it has created the widget, but it is showing as no data found because we have not pressed the button. So I will go back to my app again, and I'll click on create widget. Now again I'll go back to our actual widget, and here you can see it is showing the date which I just sent. If you want, you can click the button multiple times as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Do let me know in the comments if you have any issues. Bye.